talk to you, the regular Joes.
To movies and toys and TV shows, comics and collecting and superheroes. There's no end to the useless stuff they know. But don't call them geeks, they're just regular Joes.
Welcome to the Regular Joes podcast. I'm Dave Pisani.
I'm Barry Kay.
And I'm Todd Pleasant.
You'll notice something different in the intro, which I didn't tell you guys about. But
Okay.
It'll be a surprise. Everyone else heard it. I'll tell you after the show. But we were just talking about Veep, and there's something from Veep in the beginning of this episode.
Okay.
But if you haven't watched Veep, you should watch it. It's very funny. It's just very wrong. So,
Dave just discovered a 15-year-old show. It's awesome.
I did. I'm sorry.
Okay,
it's actually
it's not the clip about the C word, is it?
No, it's not. It's not about the...
Because, yeah.
Yeah, you were just
Anything
talking
has
about
to
that
be-
off the air.
You just were.
Not anything that has to be explained to anybody. No, but if you haven't seen that show, watch it. It's funny. I haven't seen it. And a friend adjacent of the show, Dave Mandel of the Props podcast, was the showrunner for several seasons of that. So
Better
so
known
listen
as
to
the
Dave.
guy that bought the $3 million X-Wing.
Exactly.
That's right, yep.
So there you go. But I just thought I just remembered. I meant to do it last week and I didn't, but I'll tell you. Anyway, this week stuff. Rebel Moon. Hold
Part
your
two.
comments. Two.
Rebel Moon Part
Two
2.
Two of 6. And how many hours is that? That'll be 36 hours.
Unfortunately, all we've gotten so far is the theatrical standard cuts of these two movies. But
Unfortunately. Unfortunately for eye doctors, because everyone's going to jam things in their eyes. No. Fallout we'll talk about, and we'll hold the third thing for last in case we don't get there.
just out of curiosity, and I know I should just wait, but I know Todd and I have finished Fallout. Have you just started it, or are you...
I am 2.5 episodes in.
Okay, all right. So I only ask so that we can temper what we discuss, because
Yes.
you obviously haven't seen a lot of it. So
Yeah, I've tried to watch another episode, but I had shit to do.
Okay.
So, yeah. But let's go some random. I'm going to go with the first one. I have a note here that I wrote to myself. Tron, 3 question marks. Why are they making a third Tron? Seriously?
because it's something they own outright.
Yeah.
And they made a ride.
Yeah.
Okay,
They spent a lot of money making that ride.
let's go backwards from now. Tron 2, remove Olivia Wilde in black latex. That movie's a piece of shit, right?
No, it's
no.
not.
Tron 2
It
was
is
actually
totally not.
better than Tron 1.
Tron 1 on
And you
rewatch
cannot remove.
is worse than Highlander on a rewatch.
Tron 1 is of its era.
It's
and
pretty
you can't,
So
you can't
was
go back.
Highlander, and you don't understand
Well,
that.
I do understand that. It's still shit. Tron 2 was actually a decent movie.
It was?
Boy,
Yeah.
Tron 2 is a decent movie. Tron Legacy holds up, I think, reasonably well, and Olivia Wilde and latex aside. I think it's good. I think Tron is pretty much unwatchable at this point. But
I
you
did
have
try to
you
watch
have
it.
to-
Like the last time
you have to look at it in the... No, it's not like... It's... Highlander was like in vogue for like 30 seconds. Okay. Tron is the best they could do with the technology they had that was immediately surpassed. But it's not... I mean, you could digitally redo Tron and make Tron worth watching.
Well, but it
You
wouldn't
really
fix
could.
the story, and the story
story's
is so anchored
horrible.
in the earliest days of computers.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying
it's-
but the graphics are so brutal.
Yeah, the visuals are really hard
But
to
even
watch.
the story
but the
in the
story
game
is very,
is horrible.
very dated.
Why
And
would they make a ride for that? Like, there's no other stuff they could make a ride for.
Because they own it.
I think they
I
own
get
it.
they own it, but they own a lot of stuff. There is no Indiana Jones ride in Walt Disney World. Why don't you build an Indiana Jones ride?
What is going to be the Indiana Jones ride? It's going to be the
Well, there's one in
Cars.
California. There's one in California.
That's okay.
yeah.
There's one in Paris. That's not great.
I think Tron lends itself to being a ride in some ways.
It's like an 80-second roller coaster. From what
You know
people
what
say.
they could do with Tron? They could animate Tron.
They
And
did.
I bet they have.
They
No,
have.
no, I'm saying take the original movie and redo it as an animation. And I don't know.
But Dave, the reason there's a ride is one word, one hyphenated word: light cycle. Light cycles are cool,
it is, yeah.
and that's why there's a ride.
Anyway, and then I think the only reason there's a Tron 3 is because they built the ride.
Partially, and because they own it. And is Jeff Bridges in it?
Briefly.
Briefly, yeah. He's filmed scenes. So
I don't get it.
yeah, I think you can go back and watch Tron Legacy, and I think it's makes the nostalgic. It makes it possible never to go back to Tron, but still feel nostalgic.
I
for
was
Tron.
never one of those people who, when I saw Tron, was like, "Oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever." Like,
No, nobody did. But
no, there are people who did. There,
okay,
I think
but what I'm
real
saying is, if that's
arcade
your
junkies,
if
love
that's
that
your
movie.
touch point for Tron, it works. Okay, it's just, but going back to the original is hard.
We did it, and it was hard.
Yeah, Tron Legacy has a good soundtrack too, which helps it a lot.
Yep.
Tron does
Yeah.
not as good as the Daredevil soundtrack.
Okay. Hard to
The
argue.
Daredevil
that.
soundtrack is one of the best movie soundtracks ever, and I've said that on this podcast before.
I know.
Barry,
you know
what do you got?
I don't remember it, but I'll never refresh my memory. So
All right,
Ever.
I'll go. I don't remember if we've talked about this off the air or not. I know we haven't on the show. The missing 3-foot model of the Enterprise has been
Yes.
returned to Rod Roddenberry. And actually, Joe Maddalena from Heritage Auctions helped broker getting it back from the people that had it to the Roddenberry family. So
Yeah, I've seen some pictures of it.
yeah, and they've got a sort of a famous crew of people that they've brought in to authenticate it and to plan on how they want to restore it, because it definitely needs a little work. But it's cool that it this was the one that was on Roddenberry's desk for years and then was lent out during the making of Star Trek The Motion Picture and never came back. But it features prominently.
It is the one that the actors were photographed with. For,
Yeah,
like, the
anytime
TV
you
Guide
see the
cover.
picture of
And it
Kirk
was in the
and
pilot.
Spock holding it,
Yep.
it was in the pilot. It was actually used in a bunch of episodes. Anytime there was a miniature Enterprise, it was used.
And the main title sequence, right? When
Yes.
they show, yes, yeah,
when you see the
No,
ship
that's
flying
interesting.
by in the main titles, it's that ship.
yep.
Someone had it, and they were trying to put it in an auction. Wasn't that the case?
No, somebody found it in a storage locker and put it on eBay.
Oh, that's
So
right.
How it changed hands and where it was all this time is kind of still...
So it doesn't sound like anyone ever paid big money for it and then now had to hand it over.
No, but I mean, in the article I read, Joe Maddalena from Heritage was like, it would sell for $1 million easily if it went up for sale, but it's not going up for sale. And Rod Roddenberry has said that he's not intending to put it on a shelf in his house. I think what he has said is that he would love for it to be restored and put in the case with the 11-foot Enterprise so that they're both together. at
Unless
the
someone
Smithsonian.
offers him $1 million for it.
Yeah. But hopefully that
He
doesn't
didn't say
happen. But yeah, I mean, it's just great that sort of that missing piece of Star Trek Legacy has been found and in the proper hands where it belongs.
I'd rather see it in its own case. I find that Enterprise kind of hard to see because it's a little dark in there, and it's in a good spot now. But
I wonder if after the renovations there, if it'll be a little brighter.
it's now. Whenever I went a year ago, maybe, and it's still, the place is still halfway built. It may have been last summer.
I'm just
It's in
wondering
the
if
front
after they're
entrance.
done renovating, if maybe they find a way to bring more light into that area. But
yeah, could be.
It's not because they're worried about the paint or whatever, that they don't want to
think
I don't know. They repainted it, so.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying that they're trying to preserve the.
It's in the front. It's just in a weird spot, but I don't know. They redid that whole
yeah,
place.
I guess we'll see.
Interesting. Yeah,
Probably,
it's I guess it's just fascinating. Okay, good.
What do you got, Todd?
So, Callum Turner has been cast to be the lead role in Neuromancer, which is also on Apple TV. So he was Bucky, not Buck. Buck. He was Bucky in Masters of the Air.
I saw that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so very cool. It's looking forward to that series, and I think he'd be excellent in that part because the guy needs to be a little bit edgy, a little bit sketchy, and I think he can pull that off. So, yeah,
cool. Here's a question: what's the best lightsaber battle in all 9 Star Wars? In your opinion?
Qui-Gon, Darth Maul.
Barry?
It's tough.
He's going to go old school, some old school.
No, it's either Duel of the Fates or it could be the Obi-Wan Anakin fight on Mustafar.
I don't love that one as much.
I don't either.
So.
That just feels so overwrought. Yeah.
Anyway, okay, 2 out of 3 know the right answer, but I read a couple stories about the Acolyte.
Barry, you want to give the wrap up signal that we just agreed on for this conversation? Because, yeah.
Well, it's a voting system.
Okay.
Anyway, several people have said while filming the Acolyte, all they were trying to do with lightsabers is do justice to the Duel of the Fates fight. That was their sort of North Star of trying to be as good as that. Whether they got there or not, we don't know. But I'm glad somebody recognized.
I'm sure they think they got there. We'll let us be the judges of that.
Yes, exactly. But I'm hopefully, other people could have been, no, it's got to be slow moving like, the original Star Wars or whatever.
So Barry, the fight that you referenced, I feel the camera moves like way too much. I feel that there's so many different shifting angles on
There's a lot going on for sure, but
and it totally detracts from. You don't see the kind of. You don't see the choreography as much. It's more about the shots.
Stuff is
it's more about the shots than the physicality and the actual fight. And I find that very off-putting when I go back and watch that. And
at the end of the day, which fight has more weight in the overall story? To me, it's the one at the end of Revenge of the Sith. Most of it is way too manic. I don't dispute that. The end part where Anakin's, telling Obi-Wan that he's going to rule the galaxy, and Obi-Wan's telling him, "Don't do it. I have the high ground," and all that. To me, that sequence.
Well, that's we're talking about a scene as opposed to talking about lightsaber
even there,
fighting.
I think it's yeah, okay. Anyways, I think to keep the rating they had, it's nowhere near as it's more implied than visual, and it's I don't know.
Well, I mean, quite honestly, the last 10 seconds of Vader in Rogue One was pretty ridiculous too. That wasn't a lightsaber battle. That was just him opening a can of dark side whoop ass. But
right, yeah. I think in terms of choreography and artistry and just I think it's really, really hard to put anything up against.
Duel of the Fates is great.
I also feel like that was done like totally live. Nick Gilliard and really, I felt like stuff was sped up in Revenge of the Sith. It was like speed for the sake of speed as opposed to like artistry.
I honestly, like I said, I would love to see a re-edit of that scene just because, like I said, I think they were trying to have you off balance and they were trying to, have an emotional thing there and have you, but it just, like I said, the scene's just really jarring to me. And I think also because you know pretty much how it ends, they wanted to make it, seem more parallel.
I'm also just going to say, and tell me if I'm wrong, you've probably seen that movie 3 times?
Oh, barely, yeah.
All right, I've seen it probably 25. So I'm a little more familiar with it than your memory of it from 15 years ago.
Oh, yeah, no, but I'm still saying, but also that actually puts me in probably a better position to say what my impression of it is because you've absorbed it, you've seen it so much. I'm saying that from the approach of watching it from the first time, the second time, and maybe the third time, maybe I saw it twice, it's possible. Like I said, I just didn't come away with that is a great.
No, I get it.
Lightsaber battle. It was significant, but I don't think it was. Like I said, it's. Yeah, I don't think that's the best scene of, and I think it's very the lava and all that kind of stuff like that. It was probably very, very tricky to film it the way they did, but it doesn't compare.
Anyway, hopefully the Acolyte gets close. I'm glad that's what they're striving for.
Yes.
That was the whole point.
Yes. Now, I have one more topic. Speaking of Star Wars and ultimately of George Lucas, because he directed that movie. This is all ridiculous, but there are rumors all over the internet that George Lucas is coming back to helm a live-action TV series. Apparently where it stems from is my buddy Roger Christian, who I met a couple 2 months ago, was being interviewed on a YouTube channel called Star Wars Theory, and he said the following: "I think he's coming back. I'm pretty sure now that he's doing a series." And then he said, "I think that they're bringing him into the fold from what I hear because there's a Star Wars live-action series coming, and I've got a strong suspicion that George will have something to do with that. That's what I'm thinking, and I might be prophesizing." And then later in the interview, he said, no, that's what I've heard and read. And I don't know anything apart from my prophesizing that might happen. So he said those 3 things. And now there's articles all over the internet that Roger Christian said George Lucas is directing a live action series.
I don't see that happening.
So have you met the internet?
I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't either.
There's right.
Same with Robert Downey Jr. They're not
two articles today that I read. Seth MacFarlane saying that there was going to be more Orville, and really that he basically said that he's not ready to say that it's done.
All the actors are, though.
They're
so distraught by having to stop and take other jobs and not take other jobs. So basically, he's just saying he hasn't worked through the stages of grief yet, and people are taking that as an announcement for another season.
I saw an interview with Adrienne Palicki, and she was explaining how that all works. If you're an actor that's signed on to a series that hasn't officially been canceled, that you kind of have to keep your options open, and you can't take jobs because you don't know if you're going to be
they were very frustrated by that.
It seems like that whole cast was frustrated.
Bitten in the ass before too. She got an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. spin-off that never happened.
Yeah. And he's also on his timeline, which he's got a ton of stuff, and he has $1 billion. So she's, no offense, probably just a working, decently paid actress.
Yeah.
Sure.
So Barry, something that Dave has no opinion on whatsoever. Best animated lightsaber battle.
Oh, that's tough. There have been a lot of really good ones.
They're cartoons, so it doesn't count.
That's not true. That's not true.
I think they do count. I'm going to have to get back to you on that one.
Okay.
I'm going to think about that. Yeah.
Maul versus Kenobi.
Yeah, that was the one that I was going to in my head, but I wanted to make sure I didn't miss a better one.
Yeah.
You know who's better? Fanboy Collectibles. I don't know.
You know what I'm happy about? The Gentle Giant Star Wars mini busts appear to be back.
I see that. There's
years where there were none, and now there's some really cool ones.
Wampa, Salacious Crumb, the Emperor, Yoda, all up for pre-orders.
Yeah, they look really cool. That Emperor one is amazing.
Not
Actually, the Emperor one is a statue. Yeah, okay.
Oh, are they? Oh,
yeah.
That's true. That Clash of the Titans owl, that says barrier all over.
Oh, my
Bubo.
God, yes.
I love Bubo.
If there's a market for that, it's Barry.
It's Barry,
for sure. You need that.
I do need that.
Plus, they got everything. They got Sideshow and Pops and Hasbro and I don't know, Hot Toys. We didn't even mention a Hot Toys. I'm sure there's something. There's a Stormtrooper.
So many good Hot Toys coming out.
There's always a Stormtrooper.
There's always something.
And hey, and at long last, Batman from Batman is in stock with a bat signal. So
we talked about that last week.
I know, I'm saying it, but it's there. So
it's still there.
It is still within your grasp, but
it's not too late.
It's not too late. Check all that stuff out. They got everything. Statues. Buy a statue. If you never bought a statue, you should get yourself one. FanboyCollectibles.com. Store in Newtown, Connecticut. Tell them the Regular Joe sent you, just like that guy from last week. Okay. Where are we going? Rebel Moon first? Rebel Moan? Rebel Yawn?
Well, I'll start.
How much is these things costing? That's the thing I don't get.
$166 million for this.
This guy's talking about doing 4 to 6 of them. Is Netflix going to keep writing this check?
I don't think they're going to write the check beyond these two.
I agree with this, Barry, and I will tell. I'm just going to go on record right now. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Barry, but I will not watch another one of these. I have reached an age where the remaining years I have is precious. I am not going to devote 2 more hours of my life to this series.
This comes from the guy who consumes
exactly
more hours of media in the week than there are hours.
Watching the Japanese version of Three Body Problem,
and I am continuing that. I'm in hour 12, and saying that, I will not give any more time of my life to this steaming piece of shit.
Okay. Well, so I was going to start with some positives. I thought that there was a lot more action in this half than there was in part
one. Talk about lightsaber
1.
Battles.
There were lightsaber battles. I think this movie could have been 90 minutes and not the 2+ hours that it was. I did not
but Barry, you wouldn't have had all the slow motion.
Whoa, I'm going to get to the slow motion.
Singing while they're cutting wheat
No, but
down.
I'm saying if you played it at one speed, it would have been 90 minutes.
Okay, so then let me retract what I said.
Yeah.
I think this movie could have been 60 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
If you took out all the slow motion and if you cut out the scenes where they gave us a history lesson on literally the backstory of every single character.
Making up for not really
for not doing it in the first half.
In the first film.
It's so derivative of you could sit there and you could scroll on your phone and it's fine. If you got 2 hours to do that, you have absolutely nothing to do. Like paint is drying and you have to sit there before the next coat. It's fine.
This just makes no effing sense. Okay, let me just ask you this. Where's the fucking moon?
They're on the moon. The moon is
they're
the
on a
planet
planet.
that they're on.
Velt is a planet. They're on a planet.
It's a moon of Saturn. You see Saturn in the background.
It is the planet. It's the planet Velt is what they're on. That's what it says. So it's like, I mean, really? We don't even have a moon here.
That is one of the least things that I think of when I think about what doesn't make sense about this movie.
It's down to that level, okay? It's like, yeah.
I have an entire page of notes.
I do too.
I'm not going to get through all of it.
You guys really going to spend this much time on this
No,
thing?
but because you're jumping to the things that don't make sense, I'm going all the way to the end of the movie. When that enemy ship crashed into their planet...
You mean General Grievous's ship?
Not that far away from their village. Wouldn't that have destroyed their village? Like
Very
the atomic
possibly.
blast of that?
Okay. I'll give you another one. Okay. You have anti-grav hay wagons. You have some sort of, I don't know, sonic laser weapons, whatever. Okay, that everyone has.
I thought the
guys
guys brought them with them.
No. They rounded up all the weapons, including the ones that they had themselves. So even their own weapons were lasers. They were just cruder looking. And you don't have something more effective than scythes to harvest wheat? And then when you use every farm implement you have to fight the bad guys, you don't use the scythes? Okay.
Well, but the Thundar the Barbarian bird riding guy is fighting soldiers with lasers with 2 hand axes.
I know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know.
And where was the bird?
Okay.
Yeah, the bird wasn't even in the second half.
And while we're
Why
talking
not?
about edged weapons, okay, you come through the door, okay, with a massive, whatever kind of pulse gun, whatever the hell the thing is. You point it at a woman who has 2 swords in her hand, and you decide to abandon that and go at her with a sword. It's like, what? It's like, shoot her. Okay. It's like,
All right, here, this was maybe my biggest one.
Yep.
So she puts the bombs in the engine room. The engine room has a head that has eyes that open up on it.
Totally inexplicable. Okay.
Right, but they've got all that technology. But the main gun on this dreadnought ship, you've got to use a hand crank to point it at the village. And it takes like 30 seconds.
A very slow hand crank. Okay, this is what I'm saying. It's like it
takes 10 different commands to get the gun ready to
get the
fire.
gun. Or okay, how about this? The drop ships, all of the drop ships, have a big freaking cannon mounted on the top of them. Okay. But you send a ground-mounted, you send a tank to attack, okay? It's like you have a gajillion dropships. You land 5 really close together, so they're vulnerable, and then the others apparently so far away that they can't help. It's like there's like no thought whatsoever to tactics, including the fact that supposedly the best tactician in the universe is in this ragtag band of rebels, and you land as close as possible to them and just stroll up to the door. It's like, oh, they won't try anything.
Well, the other thing that really kind of bothered me early on is the entire first movie was for nothing, right? Because they come back thinking they're victorious, like they're heroes, and immediately the young kid's like, oh, no, they just called on the radio, they're coming, they're going to be here in 5 days. The whole first movie was for nothing.
The dude strolls out of the thing, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, I guess he's alive."
Well, and I thought you would have appreciated it, Todd, when he's on the rebel moon, and he jumps into the hole and he does the Iron Man landing with the fist down and everything.
Yes,
it was totally the Iron Man pose. And then later, the robot does the Iron Man pose when he comes out of the tank.
Well, hey, there's nothing that's not worth stealing for one of these movies.
And the robot from everything. The
robot goes feral, just hangs around until like 3/4 of the way through, and then decides, I'm going to pitch in. What the hell?
That whole ship crashing lightsabers, it was right out of Revenge of the Sith.
Oh yeah, it was funny because when that sliding fight started, I'm like, oh, this is right out of Revenge of the Sith. And as it went on, I was like, but it's actually kind of cool. Like, that was one of the scenes I didn't mind so much. I hated all the slow motion, but there was one fight scene when they were on the bridge where it was all slow-mo, but you saw the laser blast going in slow-mo. I actually thought that was a cool shot, but those were 2 shots out of a 2-hour movie. And the rest of it was kind of like...
It's just there's so much slow motion, and it was just like, it was so gratuitous. I feel like Zack Snyder was good, not great, good at one point in his career, but is this just like a joke that he's like?
That's what I'm saying. Is he like saying to? I felt like, is he saying to himself,
people will suck up anything he puts his name on?
That's what I'm wondering. Is he like, I got these guys? It's all hoax.
This is so Zack Snyder that it loses sight of being a good movie because it's just too much Zack Snyderisms.
But he's literally, you're stealing from Star Wars. I get you wrote this for Star Wars, and it isn't a Star Wars movie. Why are you stealing stuff right from it?
But
there's a reason this isn't a Star Wars movie, because it's not a good story, and there's not compelling characters. Tell me who among this entire group that you give a shit about at this point. I mean,
none of them, and maybe the one redeemable character died before the thing was over. So, but even he made a stupid mistake. Okay. I mean, shooting the gun at the bell, like that, he shouldn't have done that.
He just sacrificed all those people basically to save her.
But so here's two questions. What did they actually accomplish? this evil emperor is just going to send if he really is pissed off enough, he's just going to send another ship there. Like, they didn't actually accomplish anything.
Okay. Well, they killed the guy. They killed Darth Vader or whoever.
Oh, they did. Yeah, they killed,
but at
the
the
guy
expense of their
decisively
planet.
this time. Though you didn't actually see him be decapitated, so there is a reason to watch the 3-hour cut. That won't be rated.
Their planet is so fucked up after all this.
Yeah.
I mean, did they actually...
Like,
what did they accomplish?
A giant ship with a nuclear reactor, no doubt, crashed like 100 yards away.
Those heads aren't that radioactive.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I just don't feel... Like, when the rebels blew up the Death Star, you felt like they won a victory. I don't know that this felt like a victory to me. Like, it didn't feel like the rebels blowing up the Death Star. It felt like...
the end tagline was so catchy. Find her... And find her and fight something?
Right. Yeah.
It's like, it didn't even make
Save
sense.
the cheerleader,
So this
save
is
the
the
world.
thing. Okay, this is to prove
that was
that they're
better.
not Star Wars. They don't go looking for the princess until the third installment. Okay? Who this woman killed or believes she killed, and now is like, no, I don't get it.
But they're like, we let you off the hook because you didn't actually kill her. Because she's not really
that's
dead.
right. It's okay. You're redeemable because you meant to kill her, but you didn't because she became one with the Force or something. She got all glowy.
And they showed us that, but...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Oh, yeah. She was like Force ghosting or something.
I also thought the actual dreadnought crashing into the planet, it was falling in such slow motion that they were all just standing there staring at it. Like, I feel like it would have fallen a lot faster. I don't know. This movie isn't good.
Every time we saw people,
and I like everything.
Every time you saw the officers on the bridge and everything, all I could think of was like, yeah, it's just they're really not making Star Wars films right now. So all these white males with pronounced cheekbones, it's like at least they could find work.
He looked goofy to me. He didn't even look menacing. He just looked goofy.
No, but what I'm saying, all of them, they all look like somebody, random, officer from a Star Wars movie. It was like they borrowed aesthetics, they borrowed themes, they borrowed everything. And it's one thing. Now, we know a lot of things that we love are adapted from other things, or in some cases really stolen from other things. Okay? But if you're going to do that, do something with it. Don't just take it and, make nothing. I mean,
Star Wars was derivative of a lot of things, but none of it was on the
Hidden
surface.
Fortress
But he hit it well.
Well, they hit it well, but also it
was also 50 years ago.
They
it wasn't
didn't
like
just copy it.
Right.
Okay? It was they changed the genre, they did all these other things. You can't steal from something and stay within the same, you can't steal plots and stay within the same genre. You can't make your characters all the characters archetypes and give them no characteristics that are compelling in any way whatsoever. I mean, I like how you say last name, Sophia Boutella.
Boutella,
yeah. She's in 3 movies that I like. These are not them. And I'm sorry she's upset when people say how bad the movie is. There's articles about that 2 weeks ago. But these are bad movies.
Yeah,
these are bad movies. And I'm sorry if that hurts her personally, but at some point you read a script, dear.
Well, they did something original. They had walking... Oh, no, the walkers weren't original. No.
This is what I'm saying. It's like...
Wait, where was that Charlie Hunnam guy? He wasn't in this, was he?
No, they killed him in the other one.
Did they? I don't remember.
Yeah, he betrayed him and then they killed him. But you didn't care, because we didn't care.
I was just looking at Rotten Tomatoes. It's got a 50% audience score.
They tried to give us a reason to like the Asian ninja lightsaber chick, like, because the little blonde-haired boy had a thing for her. Like, I didn't care when she died. There was no emotion when they tried to make it such an emotional
honestly,
scene.
They could all have died. I felt worse every time you saw one of the settlement people die. Like the dude that got the crap beat out of him and then got thrown out of the plane and fell to his, stabbed and thrown from the dropship to his death. The kind of Hugh Jackman looking guy. I was like, yeah, that's sad. But I don't think I felt anything more.
Not good. I wanted to like this a lot. I really did.
This is the the whole let's arm the villagers thing, boy.
And they all can shoot really well.
They can all shoot really well, and yeah.
With a
Yet
cannon
don't have
that you've never seen before.
armor, and no, it's and also let's just say if you can build a gigantic ship, if you can pretty much revive a dude from being dead, you can't freaking grow wheat, okay?
That's the thinnest part of this whole thing. They need these people's
it's like
wheat.
They're desperate for wheat,
but yet they'll. Then the wheat all of a sudden didn't matter when they thought they could capture the scar giver and bring her back to the king.
Barry, I think it was the principle of the thing. I think they wanted to, they said they were taking the wheat, and they wanted to follow through on that.
And what are they going to do with that wheat? Everyone's going to have bread? I mean, like, it seems a little ridiculous.
They could have set that up. They could have said there was like a blight, or they could have said something. There could have been a reason why this is so important. But it was just like, no, this is what we do. We're just bad, and we take people's stuff. And we do it in a very Teutonic way.
Well, that's what space Nazis do.
That's what space Nazis do.
They should have stolen it from Star Trek, from Tribbles, and making it like some super grain that could feed like way more people. You made it freaking just wheat.
Yeah.
Yeah. This whole thing. 4 hours of all this crap, all these people dying, ships flying the planet, is because you guys wanted some wheat.
And again,
it's not like that. That's the point of this. What's the point of Star Wars?
So
good versus evil. I mean,
right. And I said this when we watched part 1, and I know neither of you are familiar with this movie. This is literally the plot of A Bug's Life, the Pixar movie.
I've seen the movie.
Yeah,
it's this. I'm saying, but that was also a ripoff. That was a ripoff of what the Clint Eastwood movie with the. Whatever. Like you said, you arm the villagers and you get everybody prepared to take on the bullies, and instead of defending them, they've got to defend themselves. And that's been done.
Magnificent Seven,
Seven
Samurai.
No, I know it's been done before. I'm not saying that Bug's Life was an original, but I'm just saying like this is like almost note for note.
Yeah, but in A Bug's Life, it was pretty much a parody of those things.
Yes. Okay.
Whereas this, you were meant to think this was a good story. And this is, like I said, this is Chat GPT, sci-fi writing. There's just nothing there, and I think this is it. I think he really thought this was going to be sold on the visuals, and that wasn't that great. Now, again, think about this. This entire thing was on a planet, okay, on this planet, right? There was some interior shots on the ship and stuff like that. There were a couple flashbacks. But for the most part,
they went to some other planets in part 1. This one was more isolated.
No, I know, but I'm saying this one was just pretty much there. Okay, this was like the low budget follow up kind of thing because really, how much does it cost to build that village and a couple tunnels?
When all the rebels showed up, I had totally forgotten that they even existed.
I was going to make that point, Barry. It's like when they showed up, you're like, oh yeah, right.
I didn't remember all these people,
and I don't even think they showed them in the.
Some of the guys were.
I don't think they showed them in the recap.
No,
of part 1.
they just touched on the guy who died very briefly, but and
it's just not good.
The woman that plays the guy who died's sister, is she just a terrible actress, or was she trying to play like she was? I don't know. Just
who's that?
wouldn't.
The girl with the Furiosa shit on her face?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought she looked like Pris.
I didn't even know who that was supposed to be.
Kinda, yeah. But it was like
she was Charlie Hunnam's sister?
No, she was the rebel guy's sister who died. He also died.
The guy that died.
What's that?
The one who was the love interest for the main character. Right?
No.
No one knows because it doesn't matter.
The sister who came to their rescue in this,
her
brother, joined them last time, and he died.
Right.
The woman with the stuff, the Pris stuff across her eyes, was one of his followers who stayed with them.
I wouldn't know that. I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to cleansing that from my head. Oh God, it's just.
Let us know what you think. 3 thumbs down. It's. If you're sitting there, you got absolutely nothing to do, and you could do something else while you're watching it, it's not so bad.
Yeah, I would like to at least be able to say, you know what, visually it's stunning even if the story is stupid, but it was like, you know how JJ got slammed for all the lens flares? This takes the slow motion in this makes the lens flares seem like nothing. Every scene
it's the theme.
Goes to slow motion.
Yep.
Yeah. He just likes long stuff. He's like, okay, I can add 10 minutes if I slow everything down.
Okay.
10 minutes is like
this
6 hour cuts.
This is the point where Davis said just wrap it up and stop. But, okay. Empire. A weird, messy, humorless sci-fi. Engadget, a slow-mo sci-fi slog. Deadline, a black hole of nothingness. Forbes, even worse than Part 1. The Guardian, more generic sci-fi from Zack Snyder. The Daily Beast, Zack Snyder in his most insufferable Polygon. The Scargiver immediately flatlines the rap, a bland bang. Okay? It's just like, you know, how did you not know this thing was going to thud as much as it thud? It's just
so you just brought up one other question I had. So obviously the bad guy had a big scar on his chest from her, but they were calling her Scargiver before that.
They were?
Yes, they referred to her in the first movie, I believe, as Scargiver.
I don't think so. I think he was the first one to do that. I don't know. Maybe. You know what? It doesn't
matter.
Yeah, stupid.
It doesn't matter. If someone liked it, let us know.
Yeah, really. If you
I'd like to hear about that.
And yeah. Yeah. And if I ever say I'm going to watch the third part, just talk me down because
I don't know if there's going to be.
I don't think there's going to be a third part. I really don't.
The audacity
so
of this
either.
guy to say he's going to make director's cuts that are like 4 to 6 hours of these things. Like seriously.
But they also originally said that the director's cut of Part 1 was going to come out.
Before Part 2.
Part 2, and it never did.
And Netflix said, "Look, we got $137. Take that, and you can do what you want with it. Other than that, we're not paying no dime for this."
You know, it is though. I think he's so used to people begging for the director's cut that he really wanted just that chorus of people saying,
"You can only play that game so many times."
And boy,
after you give $70 million to do the Justice League, and then you give them the Justice League, they're like, "We learned our lesson."
But even Watchmen, which is a movie I do love, and I think
I agree.
he did a great job with. There was Watchmen. Then there was the director's cut. Then there was the extended director's cut that had the Black Pearl stuff weaved into it. And then there was a fourth. I mean, like, enough of it.
I've never watched anything but the original of that, and I don't think I
They're coming
ever
out
want
with
to.
those Lord of the Rings are coming out in theaters this
I heard
summer.
that upscale to 4K or 8K or whatever they're upscaling them
That
to.
sounds. I have insomnia, so I may go see them.
Great films.
Moving right
phenomenal
along.
films.
Boring.
No, I'm not letting you get away with that.
One out of three of us thinks so. That's correct.
It's epic storytelling with an actual story to tell. So
There you go. You want to go to Fallout?
let's do it.
I've only seen 2.5 episodes, but I didn't know what the hell to expect with this thing.
Nobody did. None of us did.
I've never. Did anyone? I don't even. I've heard of it.
Even if
Did
you played
anyone
the game,
play this
from what I
game?
understand,
yes.
I don't know anything about it.
This is just a story that takes place in that universe. So
In
it's
the
not
universe.
based on the plot of any of the games.
Correct. Yep.
Oh, really good because I never
Yeah.
saw that. But
I love it. I think it's
I do too. I
the
gotta
most
say,
refreshing, interesting thing that's come out in
Really?
a while.
To me, this is, like I
little
said last
creepy.
week, it fits in that vein with Peacemaker and Deadpool, where it's irreverent.
I don't think it has the humor of Peacemaker.
No,
at
but
all.
I'm saying it's this, you can't take it seriously. Is what I'm saying. It's like it's there's a lot of just-
There's humor. Maybe you might not have gotten to some of it yet, but there's definitely
there's
It's not in the first 2 episodes. There's not a lot in the first 2 episodes.
there's
anyway.
about the same amount throughout.
Okay.
But I don't know. Maybe it's just more black comedy humor than because it's not laugh out loud side splitting humor, but it's irreverent or ironic humor. I think.
Yes,
I liked it
yeah.
a lot.
Me too. I want more.
Enjoying it. It's maybe I need more. It's not. I don't think it's the greatest thing ever.
Lucy's one of my new favorites. I love that character.
She's not as good looking as she should be. Her eyes are too big.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
And thus we get to the heart of Dave's not liking the show. Okay.
No, I just I think
other
it's
than the physicality of the actors. Okay.
no,
I
there's
like I said,
there's a creepiness to it that just is a little off-putting to me.
I
Well,
think that is
it's-
totally meant to be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's off-putting to me.
It's the end of the world. It's a post-apocalyptic, it's going to be off-putting. And
I think
so. I don't. Is
I'm
she on
not
the surface?
embracing
Is she on the
any of
surface
these
yet, Dave?
characters. Huh?
Is she on the surface yet? Where you are?
Yeah, this is like episode 1.
All right, I don't remember, and I didn't want to spoil anything. All right, so
spoilers. The head just got stolen from her. That's right.
Okay. So once you get to the surface, everything can kill you. And
I know that. I see that.
You're just minute to minute trying to survive.
But I'm only 2 episodes in. There hasn't been a character that I'm like, I'm keying into that character yet. You know.
So the ghoul doesn't do it for you yet.
No, not yet. If he does, and neither does the Iron Giant guy. And I'd like a little more out of her. I don't know, but maybe I'll get more.
I think you get more out of her.
Yeah.
Wait till she gets to the supermarket.
I think the brilliant thing with this show is setting the Holocaust in the 1950s. So it's immediately not our world. Okay?
It's not the 1950s. It's actually the future, but it's a future that
started from 1950s. It's 200 years from the 50s.
I'm saying setting the Holocaust, okay? In the original event.
Yes, okay.
In the 1950s.
But
it's not. It makes it not like Walking Dead, or it makes it not like Last of Us. This is not a derivative of our world. This is just derivative of the world that was extremely paranoid about a nuclear holocaust.
But it's not the 50s that we knew, because there were robots already, and they were hovering cars. So it's a weird version of the 50s.
It is, and there was also a war after World War II in this universe that the Ghoul's character is actually a veteran of. I guess
that war is why they have the technology that they have.
Exactly.
They were advancements as part of that military complex.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I don't get it. Everyone's like, you can't go to the surface, can't go to the surface. Meanwhile, the whole everyone's on the surface.
But this is the thing. But that's how you keep people in the tunnels, is you tell them that there's, that they're going to die as soon as they go above. I mean,
it's interesting. I wonder what Gordon thinks of this show, our friend, because anytime you watch him on Instagram running, he goes past like all those places.
Yep.
You got Griffith Observatory. You got the Hollywood sign. Randy's Donuts is there. It's funny that it's in like the airport. There's like so many LA landmarks, which I think is clever.
I'm not going to say anything that gives anything away. I will just say that by the end of the last episode, I really liked where they took the story.
I do too. I also like that they kept kind of a video game sensibility to it. Like weapons don't work like physics doesn't work like physics works in the real world. And there's
those, you could take a shot to bring you back to life.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is like that's almost like
there's all these
picking up a health
sort of things
somewhere.
But there's also consequences. There's always consequences to that too. And so there's things that like I said, there's a lot of stuff. It was very clever. They did a really good job. And again, to take something like this and set it in this universe is probably the smartest thing they could do to not alienate people. The Halo series, I enjoy the Halo series, but I didn't play I played the game for a total of like 15, 20 minutes. Okay. People that really like the game have all kinds of nitpicks about the Halo series. So I've talked to people who played the game. This is perfectly acceptable to them because it's of that universe, but not changing the canon that they've fallen in with. So it's yeah.
I didn't realize Jonathan Nolan did this.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it's not like Westworld.
Well, Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy. And I mean, they with the duo behind Westworld.
It's more understandable and less like all over the place.
For what it is, it's a more straightforward story, and it's not all that straightforward of a story, but it's way more.
But for them, it's like simple story.
I really enjoyed it, and I really liked the Lucy character, not just because she's cute, but I thought that her character was actually really well done for taking somebody who was so naive and throwing her in what happens to her in that first episode, and her being brave enough to go out and look for her dad and all that, and the fact that she does everything she does. I just like that character.
And
I think
like
their arc
she's
is really
trying to, and you see her like trying to maintain her values and her beliefs, and those just crashing on the rocks at every single turn. But she's got nothing else to believe in, and it's I think it's good. I think it's very well done. It's been very well received, and
And we're getting more eventually. They've already renewed it. So
So
where I am, I haven't seen other than episode 1. I haven't seen a ton of her. So hopefully, we get a little more.
She really becomes one of the main 3 characters. So
I haven't latched on to any of those 3 yet.
I will watch anything that Walton Goggins is in. I think he's awesome, and in this, he's just more awesome than he's the ghoul. He's more awesome than awesome. So. He just does a great job with that character, and there's if you've watched the show, there's a really good video on his makeup process and basically what they do to
it's got to
apply
be
his
a green
makeup
nose, right?
and remove his and boy, cutting his nose off, that was a sacrifice. But hey, you do what you do for you do what you do for art.
Method.
De Niro gained all that weight for Raging Bull, and this guy had his nose cut off. So, it's cool.
There you go. Okay, I'm not stopping. I'm enjoying. I'm hoping I'm getting a character I could latch onto. So hopefully,
are you watching it alone or with Pam?
I'm not watching with her. She would.
Maria loved it. The
sight of someone's skull getting crushed, she would be like, "Why are you making me watch this?"
Maria loved it. I was actually a little surprised.
Really?
How much
See, I am honestly have been thinking about whether I should point because I could not watch it at the pace that Karen and I watch stuff. We still got 2 episodes of The Gentleman, which we got.
Oh my God! Are you kidding me? That's worse. I feel
like watching
Pam
it together. We're watching it together, okay? And so I'm watching it. And it's like she's good for an episode at a time, and I'll do 3 at a time of anything. So
that's tough. I can't do that except for Veep. We'll watch like 5 of them because
that's what I'm saying. But So. We've still got 2 Gentlemen to go through, and that will be this week. It will be, and just killing me. But you guys watched that through?
Yes, good.
Yeah.
Did that get renewed? I don't know if that got renewed.
I don't know. I haven't heard.
No, it's still in the bubble. So
yeah,
so
totally can. They totally set it up for that. Anyway, all right. Fallout. Watch it. Let us know what you think. I'm sticking with it. I'll let you know. I'll give you an update in a couple weeks. Todd wanted to mention Discovery. I mean, there was something about this episode. I didn't remember that there's anything. Tilly didn't die or anything, so I don't know what was great about this episode.
Again, it continues to be. We'll come up with a contrived reason for Burnham and Book to, or Burnham and somebody else to get separated from everybody else, and then learn valuable lessons.
She should not be going on all these missions.
That was my first problem when she's like, "I'll go." I'm like,
"Of course you will go." Yeah. Is that even necessary to say that? Okay, and it's like,
and her weird-eared second-in-command guy even tries to tell her she shouldn't go, and she goes anyway.
And she goes anyways. So, we get to see the ultimate fate of the ISS Enterprise, which we haven't seen since,
But did we need? I mean, I texted you.
It didn't go anywhere. That's the thing. It went nowhere.
Well, Todd has a theory about that.
I have a theory. This is what I want to say. So I'm gonna get my prediction out there, Dave. Why did they not destroy the ISS Enterprise? Right? Because whenever you find an old ship like that, by the end of the episode, it always gets
ram it into something.
Right? Exactly. You ram it into the big cone.
Well, you think they're going to have it in another series?
It is. They're going to reconstitute the original Enterprise with that, and it's going to be a training ship in the Starfleet Academy series.
Yeah,
and they've got that ship. They've got that. Wait a minute. They've got that ship.
Tilly is going to be on that show. Yes.
Are we sure?
Yes.
Or are we just theorizing?
So that way, they've got that ship for all the promo shots. They can use the same set from Strange New Worlds. They just put Starfleet Academy logos in the hallway, okay? And it's. I'm telling you right now, that is going to be the training ship.
You might not be wrong.
If Tilly's the lead of that show, are you watching it?
No, I might not.
I mean, she's just an annoying character. I mean, it's not anything about her looks she's just an annoying character.
I find most of the characters on this show to be annoying. I find her.
I don't think so. I think some of the bridge crew is okay. The girl who flies is all right. The girl with the freaking thing on her eye is okay. I think that dude who's the communications guy is okay.
But you see them all for 10 seconds an episode. They each have one or two lines.
More importantly, Barry, you see them for their one line. And you can,
That's why they're not
have
annoying.
a scorecard. You can have a scorecard, and you can say, okay, now's the scene.
But it's now scene A, B, C, D. Okay,
what do you think?
On the
I think
Tilly
I think
gets more
this.
dialogue than that, and she gets more attention. And she's an annoying character.
Yeah. Yep.
And she's going to be the star of this
Stamets
new
is
show.
an annoying character. Like, he's
Stamets
just
is a little annoying.
He's neurotic.
I do like Stamets. I think I like his neuroses. I like
him better now. He was really annoying.
I think he makes sense because he's basically a scientist that got pushed into this role, and this was not his first. This was not what he would chose to do, and he's there. And so.
If the Discovery blew up at the end of this season and they all died, I don't think I'd be sad. I don't ever want to see this crew again. Like, just move on. Get it. Bring us back to Strange New Worlds. Bring us to something new.
But in this episode, you got to spend time with not Debbie Harry and not Woody Harrelson. And the green guy totally is the green Woody Harrelson. He just is.
Is he?
Oh, yeah. Seriously. And... yeah, you get to spend time with them, and you still care nothing about them.
I don't get the book thing. It's like, whatever.
It's played out. I'm done. I'm tired. I could probably walk away from this season and not even watch the rest of it. I will, just because I want to see how it ends, but I don't care. I really don't care.
Every week is an opportunity to redeem the last 2 seasons of utter badness.
All right, I think this is where I'm going to put the wrap sign up.
There you go. Let's wrap it up. Okay, let's go. What's in the box?
Show you in the box. What was in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box?
Regular Joe's What's in the Box.
Todd, what's in the box?
So, if you go to our sponsor, Fanboy Collectibles, you can still buy the Gentle Moon. Okay, which is
oh, God.
That's what it's called.
The Gentle Moon, because it is a frickin' awesome, I would say non-licensed figure of Mr. Knight from Moon Knight. Hot Toys did not choose to make this figure. This is from So-So Toys. Name makes no sense whatsoever, and it's awesome. This is I would say I said. When I showed you guys before, this is not just the nicest unlicensed figure I own. This is by far the best unlicensed figure I own. The Oscar Isaac head is absolutely flawless. There's like in the eyeballs, in the glass eyeballs, there's little tiny flecks of red in the corners. Okay, it's like I said, it's absolutely phenomenal. I really was going to display it with the hooded head on, and I'm kind of torn because this is such a good head. It's really, really awesome. Or I'm going to give it to Barry, and he's going to kit bash a Poe Dameron.
I'm going to make Poe Dameron out of that.
Poe Dameron figure. But the accessories are great.
Why did they never make that?
I do not know.
Hard to fathom they never made a Poe Dameron figure.
Comes with the usual...
They may in a couple years.
10 hands. Comes in an extra shirt. Because the shirt that he's wearing under the jacket to make it pose better doesn't have sleeves. Just really, 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 really nicely done. It's a complicated outfit with there's a lot of pattern. There's a pattern on the fabric. I want to be careful really not to get this thing dirty, but they captured this thing beautifully, and it looks
amazing.
It is a perfect complement to the Hot Toys Moon Knight figure. And it kind of completes that set. And if you have any love for this character whatsoever, knowing, of course, that no one does as much as I do, you really want to check this thing out. And
so wait, the Hot Toys one came with no Oscar Isaac head?
Correct.
I wonder if he just won't license his likeness.
I don't know.
Anything.
I don't know. I tell you, I am tempted to put this head on that figure because this I actually like the Mr. Knight character that much, but I would hate to not display this head, and it's just it's great, and again, really really super. The accessories are great. Again, I'm not going to use the KO term on this. It's just like I said, it's an unlicensed figure that's really really done extremely well. So that's my what's in the box. So Barry, what do you have?
I have 3 examples of physical media, and I haven't bought things physically in a while, but I don't think I told you guys about this. This is the Blu-ray version of the Icons Unearthed documentary series that we talked about a few months ago. They interviewed a lot of Star Wars people for this, but the reason I wanted the Blu-ray set is they've got the uncut interviews on here as bonus features. So there's like a 2-hour interview with Marsha Lucas on here, like an 1.5-hour interview with Anthony Daniels. So from what they showed on TV in the series, there's much more like in-depth, full-length interviews on here. So I haven't watched them yet, but I'm very curious to see. I think it's a 192-minute interview with Marsha Lucas, so it's actually over 2 hours. She's somebody that you never hear from. Lucas did a good job keeping her out of the media and the spotlight, and after her divorce from George, I don't think she wanted anything to do with it for the longest time. So this is really kind of her definitive sort of her version of everything that went on in this interview. So I'm excited for that. I haven't watched it yet. I get the 4K Blu-ray of Aliens, one of my all-time favorite movies. Yep. I have bought it over and over and over again. These, for a while, were very hard to get. I think they've restocked everywhere, so able to get it now. There's a lot of controversy about the upscaling on this and the changes that they've made. And changes may be the wrong word. They've smoothed things out and took some of the grain out of it. So,
really?
Some people are unhappy about the way it looks. I haven't watched it yet. I'm excited to see it, and I'm okay if it looks like it was made yesterday. I'm okay with that. It's such a great movie, and the effects and everything are so good. I'm curious to see it. But the one I really wanted, and this was hard to get, was the 4K version of The Abyss.
Oh, you finally got it.
I did finally get it. I do love this movie. I love the director's cut of this movie. It's far superior to the theatrical release of this movie.
I don't know if I've seen the director's cut.
I
do like that movie a lot, though.
The director's cut added in an entire plot line that was cut out, which explains more of what was going on in the movie. I highly recommend.
Maybe I have seen it. Is it on there?
Yeah, it's on here. Yeah, both versions are on there. I mean, I know I like director's cuts in general. This one, it's an entirely different movie, and it's a far better movie it's like 45 minutes added back to it. It's longer.
I think I have seen it. I don't remember what happens in it, though.
There's a whole plot line with Ed Harris and the aliens underwater.
Yeah.
And what their motivation was for why they were destroying the Earth and all that. So, anyway, it's been a while since I bought anything on a Blu-ray, but I've gotten 3 in the last couple weeks. So, that's what's in the box. Dave?
There you go. And if you have those Blu-rays and you need to watch them on something, I have this is not really a what's in the box, but I don't have anything else. So I have a lot of televisions, and my last, what I consider expensive or very expensive TV just died. I have this LG that I bought. I'm trying to think. It's not like, maybe it's 10 years ago.
Is that the one that's in your TV room by the kitchen?
That hasn't been there for a while, no.
Oh.
This one's downstairs. When I upscaled to 4K, I bought the TCL 65-inch one that's in there. This is the LG 60-inch, I think. And when I looked, I needed the best TV out there. It was the best reviewed TV, and I found it, and it was like $2,500. Now, 3 years ago, all the HDMI inputs stopped working. So I did all this research, and the problem is the heat from the TV is melting the soldering to make. So there was a company in Texas or Utah who you could pull the board out, send it to them, and they'll resolder it. Long story. And I did that, and it cost $250. And now it's happened again. So there's this $2,500 TV that I'm not spending another $250 on. So next week is bulk pickup. This TV is going out for bulk pickup, as much as it kills me. But every TV I've bought since then has been a TCL TV. Now, my TCL 65-inch, I paid $950 for it. It is a far superior everything to this LG. So I just replaced, I bought to replace that TV that's downstairs. You know how many TVs I have. TCL 4K 55-inch, $248 at Walmart.
And is it 4K HDR?
Yes.
Wow.
It's crazy. And it's a Roku TV. I like the Roku TVs. Now, that's why the TCLs are... You don't like Roku?
I don't like Roku, no.
I love the Roku interface. What do you like?
Well...
You like Apple.
No. I prefer not to have this conversation on the air.
Whatever.
It's too close to what
I do like the
living.
Roku interface. And I've tried different things. You know, I was a TiVo guy. I've tried Fire Sticks. I like the Roku. Anyway, the reason these TVs are so cheap is because they have Roku built in. But I have... This will be the 4th TCL Roku TV I have. Picture's amazing. Better than any of those LGs.
Listen, I hear great things about TCL TVs. I don't personally like the Roku ecosystem, but it has more to do with being a developer on that platform than it does anything else.
I got you.
Yeah.
But I do like that. But I was like $248 for a 4K HDR 55-inch.
This is the one when you first come down the stairs into your basement, that TV there?
That one.
You could have gotten something bigger than 55 inches for that room. Come on, that's a 75-inch TV room right there.
There's a freaking 120-inch screen next to it.
I know. No, that's cool. I heard great things about TCL. They make good TVs.
Like I said, I have 3 right now. I love it. That's my main upstairs TV is TCL. Anyway, but I was just shocked. I'm like, I won't spend... You know, I have spent $4,000 on a TV in the past. That was years ago.
Me too. I'm
not spending that kind of money on TVs.
The 3 anymore. TVs that I have that I use in this house, there's other TVs in the house, but the 3 that I use are all Samsungs, and I'm not sure I'd buy another Samsung. And I like them; they're great TVs, but what they've done with their interface and how aggressively it tries to take over everything, I've just kind of had enough of fighting with them to figure out how to turn all that crap off.
But I don't think the picture quality is anything better on these. You know, to me, what are the top 3? Sony, LG, Samsung. They're not any better than these things, and I'm not spending, you know, the equivalent TV in LG or Samsung or Sony. I mean, it's not $2,000 anymore, but it's $800 or $900.
No, yeah, I mean,
that kind of money.
When I got my 75-inch Samsung, I think it was $1,200.
Yeah,
yeah. But the prices have come way down.
If this LG, and I don't even think it's 10 years. Again, I know TV's not going to last 20 years anymore, and that's fine. And especially, who knows when 8K is coming. But with TVs having such a short cycle, it just doesn't make sense to pay that kind of money for them. So anyway.
No, I agree with that. And on a side note to that, they can release 8K panels all they want. The only thing you're ever going to see in 8K is going to be video games. There's no content coming.
Well, it's funny. I was listening to somebody. Oh, no, it was on the Props podcast. He was saying they shoot House of the Dragon in 6K in case they, at some point, they need to go upscale. Yeah. They need to change the technology. But I said I'd never buy 4K, and there you go. I bought 4K. It's
very unlikely. There's still, I mean, how many, what are we? We're probably close to 10 years into 4K, and there's still nothing available on 4K.
I don't even think we're even that far into it.
We're more than 5 years in, for sure.
Maybe 5 or 6.
And there's nothing available in 4K other than movies that you can stream.
Yeah. But anyway, if you need a TV, I'm not a fan of Walmart. I really don't like Walmart. I don't like how they're trying to compete with Amazon, but you can't beat their TVs.
Well, there
they probably are the biggest seller of TVs in the United States, I would imagine right now, right? Although there's Best Buy, there's them. I don't know, Target maybe. I don't.
Amazon
think
sells a lot of TVs too.
I buy a crap load of Amazon Fire TVs.
Yeah. I mean, I also think
they're
that
cheap,
Costco
and
is
they're
probably
cheap and they're decent, and yeah.
I think Costco may be America's largest TV dealer.
Are they I don't think they're in as many. I don't think they have as many patrons as a Walmart in this country.
I don't know, but every time I'm at Costco, which is usually once a week, there's somebody rolling out, at least one person rolling out a big screen TV.
You can get 85-inch TV for like $6 there, and a hot dog for $1.
And you get a hot dog for $1.50 with a soda.
This is true.
But anyway, that's what's in the box. That's not my typical, but I was like, it does kill me to like toss these freaking ridiculously expensive TVs.
Next time I'm there, I want to check that TV out. I want to see what the picture looks like.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what's in the box. Okay, any last thoughts? I don't ask that all the time.
I don't have a last thought this week. No,
okay, I'm thoughtless.
Yeah, I got all my thoughts out on the Zack Snyder stuff.
There you go. Check out.
If you have not seen that movie, just don't.
Check out Joe Biden on Howard Stern. He's a good dude. I don't care what any of you fucking people think.
Oh, that's funny.
And thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.